My friend put this braid in my hair last night and it's still kicking, so we're gonna leave it. So I thought I'd do an update video today. Still a bit of an update because it does involve my new apartment. However, I thought I would share a story instead. I'm really enjoying kind of having my own space. It does have its downsides. A couple days ago, I went out to do groceries and I really did not want to do it, but I was like, I need to get food, go do your groceries. Did it, the grocery store was terribly busy and there were a lot of like really aggressive middle-aged women doing their groceries and it was all around a horrible experience. And then I come home, I'm at the front, and usually I have a fob that lets me into the building. And I was rummaging around in my purse and I couldn't find my keys. But I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna buzz up to my apartment because everyone that buzzes, it gets sent to my cell phone. So I was like, I'll buzz it, it'll go to my phone, and then I can look for my keys when I can put all my groceries down and dig through my purse. So I get up to my floor and I get to my apartment, I put all my groceries down, and I am digging through my purse. And I cannot find my keys. And so I'm thinking, okay, I had them when I left because I locked the door. So either they fell out in the apartment and someone has found them, or I lost them on the bus ride to the grocery store, or I lost them in the grocery store, or they're in the Uber that I took back from the grocery store. So my mind is racing. I'm like, there are so many places my keys could be. Oh my God, I don't have my keys. I locked myself out of my apartment. I have never done this before, ever. I've never locked myself out of anywhere. I'm always very specific about where I put my keys. I have a designated spot in every bag. That's where my keys go. It always goes there. It never changes. I've also never lost my phone or lost really anything of value. I mean, I was worried, but I was also kind of standing at my apartment door just laughing because how did this happen to me? So after I realized I've lost my keys and I kind of take a moment to be like, what? I call Nicole because I'm like, first of all, she's gonna find this hilarious. Second of all, maybe she has an idea of where they could be. I don't know why. She has no reason to know where my keys are, but like, I'll call Nicole. I would like to point out, however, I was very calm throughout this entire situation, and while it was a bad situation, I found it more funny than anything else, which is, I guess, a skill I can put on a resume, like calm under pressure. So I call Nicole. First of all, she answers, which is a huge shock. Usually she does not answer her phone if I call. She answers and I'm like, guess what I did? I locked myself out of my apartment. And so we laugh for a little bit and then I'm like, okay, this is the thing, this is what happened, here's where I am in this situation. So I'm like, okay, maybe I dropped them in the apartment and someone found them and they brought them downstairs. So I go back downstairs with all my groceries and I'm like, great, it's Friday night, the office is closed for the weekend, so if they brought them there, I'm never getting them back. Not never, I would get them back on Monday morning. I'm not gonna be able to get into my apartment tonight. So I'm sitting in the lobby with all of my groceries on the phone with Nicole, and I'm like, what do I do? So I'm like, oh my God, I have a friend who lives in this building. I text her and I'm like, hypothetically, if I were to lose something like my keys, is there like a lost and found somewhere? And she was like, no, but maybe check the office. And I was like, great, well the office is closed. And then Nicole's like, call the on-call superintendent. And I'm like, great, I could do that, except their number is in my apartment and not on my phone. Which I should have done from the beginning. I should have, like, the second I got settled, been like, okay, all the emergency numbers, putting them in my phone right now. So I'm like, okay, maybe I can text my friend and ask her. But she was out, so she didn't respond right away, and I was like, okay. And Nicole's like, I'm gonna Google it. And I was like, I don't think it's gonna be on Google. I don't think it was. We never got that far. Because I realized in the lobby, there's a bulletin board by the elevators, and it always has a bunch of notices and stuff. But there is one sheet of paper, and it's the paper everyone gets in their like lease package, and it's your emergency numbers, it's your on-call superintendent and security. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. So I write down the number and I go back upstairs. I'm like, Nicole, I'm hanging up. I'm gonna call the superintendent. So I get upstairs and I'm like, wait a second, before I call the superintendent, maybe my keys fell into my grocery bag. So I'm now in front of my apartment and I'm rummaging through my grocery bags, hoping maybe my keys had somehow fallen in there. Not surprised, they were not in there. So I'm like, okay, I have to call the superintendent. And as I am getting myself ready to call the superintendent, a girl walks out of her apartment. And I know this girl, not very well, but we have a class together. So I recognize her by sight. I don't know her name, but I recognize her and she recognizes me. You know, she's going back with her laundry bag And I just like am pretending to be like on my phone, but also like rummaging through my purse. Like I just walked up to my door. The phone is ringing to the superintendent. And so I'm like, please get in the elevator before I have to answer this call. And she finds out what's going on because this is so embarrassing. And of course, that does not happen. The elevator does not come. She hears the whole conversation that I had. And so the way our on-call superintendent works is it's a pager. So basically you call this number and you leave a message with like your apartment number, your name, your phone number, and the problem you're having. And so I leave that message, and she is still standing waiting for the elevator. And they say it takes about 10 minutes for the page to go through before the superintendent gets your message, and then they can come deal with it. I just want to get in my apartment and put my groceries away and be done with this mess. And so while I'm waiting, I'm going through my purse and I'm looking in every single pocket I can think of, and I'm like, my keys are not here, what happened to them? So the elevator dings, and I'm like, great, the superintendent's here, and I turn around, and it is that girl who I have a class with. And she kind of looks at me and she's like, is everything okay? Because I've been standing outside of my apartment with groceries for about 15 minutes. And I was like, oh, yeah, I just locked myself out of the apartment. Oh my god, so dumb. And she's like, oh, don't worry, I do it all the time. If you need a bathroom, I'm just down the hall. Let me know. And I was like, oh my god, thank you so much. First of all, for not judging me, because I am so embarrassed. And like, that's really nice of you. I appreciate that. And she's like, don't worry about it. I've done it so many times here. My husband has locked his keys in the apartment. I've locked my keys in the laundry room. I've locked myself out of the building. It's fine. And so I'm like, okay, well, I called the superintendent, so hopefully they'll be here soon. And as I'm saying that, the superintendent walks out of the elevator and he looks at me and he goes, what happened? And I was like, oh, like I'm locked out. I had my keys when I left and I must have misplaced them. And so he opens it and he kind of just looks at me and sighs and shakes his head. I was like, great. And I was like, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night and have a good weekend. I'm trying to be so nice because I feel so bad. Also, I'm pretty sure he thinks I'm one of the dumbest people in the world. So I get in my apartment, all is well, and now I'm like, I have to find my keys. So I call Nicole back and I'm like, just an update, I'm in the apartment. I start pulling up all of these places that I like should call and ask if they found keys. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take 1 second while I'm still talking to Nicole. I'm gonna go through my bag again. And I pick it up and I dump the whole thing out. And I'm like, first of all, I need to clean my purse out more frequently than I do. There's this one zipper at the back that always gets caught on itself, so I never open it. And I hadn't checked it. And I was like, there's no way I put my keys in there. Like, that's just not even possible. I never open it. I've maybe used it once since I got this purse a couple years ago. I'm just gonna open it. So I open it, and guess what's inside? It's my freaking keys. So I'm on the phone with Nicole this whole time. We just both burst out laughing. So not only did I have my keys the whole time and made this whole big scene about having lost my keys and locked myself out of my apartment, I must have been wearing my purse backwards all day because this compartment is at the very back, the side that usually sits against my side. So I've locked myself out of an apartment now, so I can cross that off the bucket list of bad decisions. But other than that, the new apartment's great. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have ever locked yourself out or had to call your superintendent or landlord for something dumb, please let me know in the comments. I'm still a little bit embarrassed. I don't know why. Probably because I had my keys the whole time. I hope you guys are having an awesome day, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye!